right, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to move that microphone just a little closer to your mouth, should help out.
Okay.
Much better.
Let's see, where was I? Alternator switch blazer. Wait for clutch light out.
Okay, so we still got our clutch light on. And remember that?
So
it's tightening.
It's still tightening.
And technically, when the clutch light's on, we don't know if it's tightening or loosening. All that's telling us is that it's doing something, but we can assume it's tightening, right? Because we just turned it on. So clutch light's out.
Warm up RPM, 70 to 80%.
Okay, so we're gonna go 75%. So I'm rolling the throttle smoothly away from me.
And that red or yellow area, that's like blade resonance, or you're not supposed to stay in there.
Right. Yep. Okay. We get weird vibrations. It's mainly bad for the tail cone, the tail boom.
Yeah. Engine gauge is green.
Okay, so that basically just means we're want to be warmed up. So we got green, green, not quite green here. So we're just still waiting for our cylinder head temp to be up to warm up temp.
Okay.
I pulled carb heat right there just to help with that. It'll help warm it up a little faster.
Gotcha.
We can verify, it's probably somewhere down on the checklist, but we can verify our carb heat's working when I pulled that, because we'll get a cat rise right here. So our carb temperature is raised up.
Oh, Gaia.
So that's working.
Warning lights out.
Yep, so warning lights are out.
Mag drop at 100% RPM.
So we do that a little bit differently than what that sheet says. And I like to wait for my cylinder head temps a little bit. I can turn my avionics on here while I'm waiting. And I like to, while I'm waiting for the engine to warm up, I like to check the weather. So 12775 is our weather here.
Now there's a name for that. It's a broadcast that they just do.
Yep, it's
it's so the people in the tower don't have to keep telling everybody the same thing.
Yep, that's one purpose of it. And also, so we're required to listen to this before we take off.
Okay.
And they're updated every hour, and they put an identifier with it. So we'll hear what the identifier is. So when I make my radio call, I'll say, I have information uniform, or whatever it is. That lets them know.
Whatever the latest one is.
Yeah, which lets them know that I listen to the weather. So
500 scattered, ceiling 3,500 broken, 6,500 broken. Temperature 11, dew point 8, altimeter 2975. ILS runway 13 right approach in use, landing and departing runways 13 left and 13 right. Simultaneous approach to Nice to SeaTac and Boeing airports. Expect traffic above you on final. Aircraft landing runway 13 left, reminder to fly the PAPI. VFR departure, say direction of flight. All aircraft readback, hold short instructions. On initial contact, advise if information Sierra.
So information Sierra.
Boeing airport information Sierra 2053 Zulu, wind 120 at 9er.
So 9 knots a wind, so it's a decent amount. Not too bad though.
7991 uniform Boeing tower runway 13 right, clear for takeoff.
All right.
Traffic 4
so now we're warmed up here. So now I can check my magnetos. So when I check my magnetos, I'm going to switch it to one of my magnetos. So I'm going to go to the left one first, and I'm watching my engine RPMs, and they should drop, but they shouldn't drop more than 7%.
7% max.
Right. So here we go. I'm going to check it and go 1 1000, 2 1000, back to both. Looks good. I'm going to check my other magneto now. 1 1000, 2 1000, back to both. Looks good.
Carb heat check. Cat rise drop.
Yep, so we already checked our carb heat.
You did that before. Yeah. Lift collective, reduce RPM.
So,
horn light at 97%.
Okay, we'll do that in just a second.
Okay. Sprag clutch check. Needle split.
Yep. So now I'm going to check my sprag clutch here.
So that's it. You roll off the throttle and you make sure that the rotors keeps going.
Yep, absolutely. So what we're looking for here is a split in the needle.
So the left needle's going to go down.
Yep. They're both going to go down, but we want to make sure that they just split. So when I do this, I don't just close the throttle because people have a tendency to go the wrong way. So, which we want to avoid. So I always roll it up to 80%, so I know which way is up, and then I close it the other way. And you see the needle split?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. So that's good. It means our sprag clutch is working.
Doors closed and latched.
All right, so door closed. Looks good. I'll close mine. in just a second. So now let's check, well, what's next on there?
OAT gauge, degrees C. Outside air temperature?
Yep.
Okay.
That's this guy. So we're okay there.
Cyclic collective friction off.
Okay, I just took those off.
Tower.
Governor on.
Okay. So now I'm going to flip this governor on here.
Skyline transition.
So the governor comes on at 80%. So you can see here I'm going to roll up and hit 80%, and the governor's going to take over and bring it up.
So after you roll it up to 80%, you can just be hands off.
However, I keep my hand really close, and I protect it from overspeeding. I've had the governor catch too much momentum before and go past the green. And we want to avoid that because you don't want engine overspeeds. So I always keep my hand there to guard against it and slow it down if I need to.
Okay.
But ideally, yeah, it takes over and brings it up to 104%.
Okay. So you can do everything we've done without contacting the tower.
Yep.
So anything where you haven't yet left the ground.
Yep, and it's not necessarily leaving the ground, it's this line up here. That solid line is called a hold short line. We can't cross over that until we get permission from the tower.
Got it. Okay.
So that one check we skipped is our low rotor RPM horn. So how we got to do that is I got to slowly roll this throttle down, and it should come on at 97%. So I got to lift this collective a little bit. There's our horn, and it should go out. There it is. So now we know our low rotor RPM horn works, and we're ready to go.
Governor on, area clear.
Yep, so let's put that away. Clear my area. Looks good. All right, make my radio call and we'll be good to go. Forward Tower, helicopter 823, Mike X-ray at H&W ramp with Sierra for Rainier departure.
Helicopter 823, Mike X-ray, Boeing Tower, pad 6, cleared for takeoff, southbound departure approved.
Pad 6 cleared for takeoff, 3 Mike X-ray. All right, here we go.
2 Pop Alpha, turn left, contact ground point 9er.
So to pick it up, I'm slowly raising the collective. My eyes are out ahead on the horizon.
You feel it getting light.
Yep, feeling light on the skids. I'm giving it some left pedal to anticipate the yaw. I go really, really slow. There we are. Always really slow when there's other helicopters nearby.
After the transition. What's the
effect of the wind
here? Back to Southfield. Okay, got your 4-3 Mike, roger.
There we go. Coming out here. Into the wind.
So you really do kind of do a takeoff run, so to speak.
Yep. We don't necessarily have to, but we ideally do for best performance. We get our speed here. I slowly go aft on the cyclic, bring it back, start that climb out, and lift my collective to go forward.
If you only pull back on the cyclic and no collective, are you going to go up and lose speed?
Yep, exactly.
And if you go forward, you'll go down and gain speed?
Yep, we're going to lower. So I'll go forward here, see how I lower the nose a little bit. We're gaining speed, we're losing altitude.
Right.
So if I lift my collective, I can counteract that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything I do with the cyclic is very, very small. It's very touchy.
What Dan told me. You said it's almost like you just put pressure and not move it.
Yep. I call them pressure inputs. Yeah. I'm not making large inputs. I'm not turning, moving the cyclic. I'm just making pressure inputs.
Got it. Now, how high do you go before you're in SeaTac airspace?
Right here is about 2,000, I believe.
Okay. And if you go not too much further over there, you're in it all the way to the ground.
All the way to the ground. It's pretty much that hill.
Okay. So that's the bot or the top of the wedding cake, so to speak.
Pretty much. Yep. Exactly right.
And is this what's called the valley departure?
This is the Rainier departure.
A Rainier departure.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so basically...
I don't remember the names of the other ones.
Yep.
But.
Yeah, and we don't have to really worry about the other ones too much. But basically, we head out over southbound lanes 55.
Juliet, runway 13 left, cleared.
And then we cross over here to Martin Luther King.
At 14.
I want to be a little higher than we're at right now. So I'm just lipping that collective to bring us up. And I'm just getting us a little bit clear of the approach end of Boeing, and then I'll give you some of the controls here and start talking you through them.
Okay.
So pretty much on the Rainier departure, we sidestep over to Martin Luther King. And then, do you see that big dirt pile up there?
Stand by.
Yeah.
We're heading straight at it. We're going to curve to the right and follow those railroad tracks.
Okay, that's exactly what Ben did when I went up with him.
This is pretty much always how we will leave out of Boeing to go south.
Like there's a bit of sunlight down that way.
Yeah. Really not too bad out. Alright, so I'm going to put Long Acres frequency in our standby here.
Long Acres?
Yep, that's what we call everything south of Highway 405 here.
Oh, okay.
So this whole kind of valley area, well, basically from here to Auburn, we call Long Acres, and that's the frequency everybody uses to talk to each other to let them know where they're at.
So this is just between aircraft?
Yep.
Okay.
Once I switch over here. I got to be, technically, we're in Boeing's airspace until I get to the highway right here.
Okay. So now, once you've switched that, you're not in communication with the tower anymore.
Right, exactly. And I haven't switched it yet. This is active, this is standby. So I was just getting the frequency ready, and then I hit this to switch.
Got ya. So the tower is 133.77?
The tower is 1183.
1183.
So that's what I'm on right now.
You're on 1183.
Yep, because I'm waiting until I get to basically out of their airspace, which is I can basically do right now. So now I'm going to switch to Long Acres.
Got it.
And make my radio call. That'll sound like Long Acres, helicopter 823 Mike X-ray. I'm over 405, southbound at 600 feet. Long Acres traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-ray, 405 southbound, 600 feet, Long Acres. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to drop the cyclic down over here, get in a nice comfortable spot for you. And go ahead and you're taking it. You got the cyclic.
I have the cyclic.
Okay, and remember, just nice gradual inputs. Do you see these power lines over here?
Yeah.
Let's stay to the right of them, but go ahead and try to keep us in a straight line for now, and then I'll start having you do some turns. I like to keep it nice and stable, kind of up against my leg a little bit, but you can see how we're turning right. There you go. Had to bring it in a little bit. Perfect. Whenever we're flying what we call sort of like, this is straight level, flying visually, right?
Yeah.
We really want to utilize the horizon. So your eyes should be out ahead.
Be looking straight out.
Yep. Eyes should be out there where that sun's coming down. Basically where the sky meets the ground. That's what we consider the horizon. That's where you should use as your reference.
Okay.
So go ahead and start a nice kind of left-hand gentle turn back to the power lines. And let's keep our nose, let's speed up a little bit while we're doing it. So go just gently forward. Nice, good, good. Getting that speed up, looking good. Nice, doing really good. Start a little more left-hand turn and bring us back to these power lines. Good. You can see really how touchy they are.
Yeah, very.
Just little pressure inputs.
And also, I tend to start getting it in a death grip.
Yep.
Which is probably not.
Yep. Everything we're going to do is light grip. I can fly this thing with one finger if I want to.
So are we going to go over the railroad tracks, or are we going to stay right of the power lines?
Let's stay to the right of the power lines. So you're doing good now. Start a nice gentle right-hand bank. Looking good. And let's follow this road actually. Try to go straight down this road.
Okay.
And try dropping our nose down a little bit and getting us up to about 80 knots. We're at about 60 right now. So still utilize the horizon, keep your eyes outside, and then just kind of make casual glances down to see how fast we're going. Pull out like a nice instrument scan. Nice, good job. That was really smooth. And just always want to be nice and relaxed, nice loose grip. It'll just help you out tremendously.
So we're descending, and now we're at 80 knots. Do I pull back?
Pull back and level us out here just a little bit. So like just about there is level.
Okay.
So you can see that wasn't much of a difference, right?
Right.
So now we're level at 80 knots, so we can hold this.
And if you wanted to go back up to where we were before, you'd add collective.
Yep. So go ahead and put your left hand right on the collective. And so remember, when we use the collective, we still want a very light grip on the collective.
Yeah.
Because the governor's on there, right? That's the throttle. So the governor, you'll feel it in your hand making small inputs. It's designed to be overridden. So we don't want to override it right now. We don't want to do that right now. So I like to tell people to keep an open grip. So an open palm, and if you want to lift it up, just put your hand underneath it and lift up on it. And we'll start climbing. And then I can kind of catch that and level us back off. So go ahead, and we're here at 700 feet. So go ahead and raise that collective up and bring us up to about 900 feet. Just kind of getting a feel for it with a nice loose grip. Good. Feel us climbing up?
Yeah.
Good. So remember, whenever we do anything, really want to try to utilize the horizon. Glance down, there's 900 feet, so we can bring this back down to catch it. We're at about 50 knots, so let's speed up just a little bit. There you go, nice. Now we can pull up some collectives so we don't lose that altitude.
Yeah.
You see how those kind of coordinate together?
You kind of get so you do them in concert with each other?
Absolutely. You'll see that trend is synonymous throughout all your flying. Everything you do is coordinated with each other. When I increase collective, I need more left pedal, which means I need to change the cycle.
So we've gone up to 1,000.
Yep.
So
let's go back down to 800.
Okay.
Looking good.
So 75 knots.
Yep, that's good. We like to cruise at about 80, but really we can kind of do whatever we want.
Like I'm going back a little bit.
Long Acres traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, 167 southbound at 800 Long Acres.
Okay, 70 knots.
Yep.
800 feet.
There's 800 feet, so let's bring this collective back into level off. Staying nice and level. Looking good.
Go forward a little bit to get to 80.
Yep, let's go forward a little bit. And let's raise this collective up while we're doing it so that we don't lose that 800 feet. Yep. Good, nice. That was really good. So especially at the beginning, I don't really like people to mess with the pedals that much.
Yeah.
Mainly because we don't need to. When we're in straight and level flight, we're flying pretty aerodynamically, so we don't need that anti-torque from the tail rotor. And so it really...
Okay, so I'm a little high, so if I go forward on the cyclic, I'll speed up
and lose some altitude. Yep. Exactly. And let's go a little bit left. Do you see these railroad tracks over here?
Yeah.
Let's go left over those tracks and kind of actually just keep diagonal to the left. I'm going to switch over to Auburn's frequency, which is 122.8.
16 Auburn. That's ring base. For runway 13.
So...
Runway 16.
Lower nose a little bit.
Yep. And you can probably lower collective a little bit if you want to. Auburn traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, 3 miles to the north. We're straight in 16 Auburn.
So is that blade slapping noise when you're descending?
Field right downwind 16, full stop Auburn.
All right, sorry, say that again.
The
blade slap?
When the blades slap. Okay, there we go. 880.
Blade slap is a sure tell sign that we're descending.
Okay.
And most of the time it means we're descending with very little amount of power. So the collective's pretty low. So let's keep coming left. Do you see the runway up there? Long strip of pavement.
Oh yeah.
That's Auburn Airport. So let's go to the left here, and we're going to line ourselves up to go straight in. And let's shoot for 500 feet and 70 knots right now.
Okay.
traffic, Skyline 1 Zulu Zulu, we're turning right base.
Oh, that runway. Okay, I was looking further out.
Arbor traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, 2 miles to the north, spur straight in 16, Auburn.
Okay, Skyline 1 Zulu Zulu, we'll extend for the helicopter.
Alright, so I'm going to help you out just a little bit because you got an aircraft right here.
Okay.
So he's going to...
Traffic, Cessna 799, 1 uniform, clear, runway 16.
He's going to go behind us, so I'm just going to get our speed up a little bit to get us in quicker, so he's not having to wait. See him?
Over there?
Yep. So normally we want to be about 60 knots coming in for our approach here. Like I said, I'm going to get us there a little quicker, just for his sake.
So this is an uncontrolled field.
Correct,
right?
There's no tower.
Okay.
So we're just making common traffic calls to each other.
Number traffic, Skyline 1 Zulu Zulu, we're turning final 16, full stop.
And number traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-ray, 1 final 16. And we'll keep our speed up and sidestep to the taxiway. Alright, so this one, I'm mainly just going to kind of talk you through because we're a little rushed with this guy behind me. Of basically just how an approach should kind of look.
Okay.
So coming up, we should be at about 60 knots and 300 feet AGL, which here is 400 feet.
We're 400 feet and 70 knots.
Yep. So I'm going to bring it back to 60. So to start my approach, I'm going to go aft cyclic to slow down, lower the collective to go down, which means I'm going to need some right pedal. And I'm going to start bleeding this airspeed off to about 45 knots. And then I can
got this guy over here on the left.
Yep. And I got a plane behind me as well, so that's why I'm keeping our speed up just to get us down. I'm basically controlling my descent rate with the collective, maintaining my heading with the pedals. We should be slower right now.
Traffic, Cessna 799, 1 uniform, on downwind for runway 16, Auburn.
But I'm keeping my speed up to get on the other end of the runway. And as the ground comes up, I'm just kind of gently bringing this collective.
Short final 16.
And I'm going to sidestep us, just get us out of the way. Auburn traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, clear the active, Auburn. Alright, so ideally that's not a perfect approach, but that guy has already landed behind us, so I was trying to just get out of his way. So here at an uncontrolled airport, we can kind of do what we want as long as we're in communication with everybody else around us.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to bring us over here to this run-up area.
Which is right here?
Yep, this is right here. And I'm going to let these guys, these airplanes clear out before we take off again. And we're going to kind of just start to do some general introduction to hovering stuff.
Okay.
So first things first, I can see on that flag over there, the wind's coming from the left, so I'm going to point us into the wind.
Lane 1 Zulu is clearing 16, Auburn.
Okay, so what I want you to do to start is put your feet up here on the pedals. And I always like to think balls of your feet on the pedals. And you always want to be nice and light with your feet. All your pedal inputs you're going to make, I would make them really more just kind of like, so if you look at my feet over here, I'm going to emphasize it for you. I'm just making small little inputs kind of like that.
Yeah, okay.
Not quite that drastic. I'm just doing that to exaggerate it so you can visually see it. But if you make small little inputs like that all the time, it's way easier to stay on top of it rather than like waiting for us to go to the right and then making a big left input like that. Okay. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, so if I just...
Yep, so I'm going to bring us back. You're on the pedals. And I want you to try to keep us pointed directly at those cones over there. I'm just going to let you kind of get a feel for it. Right pedal brings the nose to the right, left pedal the nose to the left. Small little inputs. Try to just point us right at those cones as best you can.
That is sensitive.
Yep. All right, so now I want you to go ahead and give some left pedal. Bring us back to those cones real quick. And now I want you to go ahead and give us a left pedal turn, very controlled and smooth and slow, as best you can, until we align with this yellow taxiway line over here. So whenever you're ready.
Okay.
And keep your eyes out ahead. Don't look too close. Yep, so keep bringing us left, keep bringing us left. Nice, good. Keep bringing it left. And try to stop it on this line. See, so we overshot it a little bit. You kind of have to anticipate it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring us a little bit to the left to give us some more room over here. And now I want you to give us 90 more degrees to the left towards the building over here, this Orion building. And then try to catch it facing directly at the building. Good, nice, that was really good. And 90 degrees more to the left. And catch it.
Oop. Overshot.
That was a really good, smooth control turn though. That was really good. Now let's try the right pedal turn back to the building. Good, nice.
Auburn traffic, Cessna 7991 uniform on the upwind, runway 16, Auburn.
And 90 degrees more to the right. And you can see when we go right, that's the way the helicopter wants to go, right?
Yeah.
So we
yeah,
more
definitely.
are just kind of like coming off the left pedal and letting it do it and kind of guarding against it. So bring us 90 degrees more to the right.
To the right?
Yep. Nice, good. Catch it. Looking good. 90 degrees more. Nice, really good. Really good. All right, so I'm on the pedals now.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna bring us back over here this way. And you see that plunger right there? Can you pull that out a little bit?
Pull it out?
Yep.
On the downwind for runway 16, Auburn.
And that plunger is?
That's our cabin air. And you can pull it out a little more actually.
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to get some of this fog off of here. So I'm gonna move us forward here, and I want you to be back on the pedals and try to keep us aligned with this yellow line. So I'm gonna just hover taxi us forward and do your best to keep us straight. So a little more left pedal. Looking good.
Yep. So it feels different when you start going a little faster.
It does, exactly.
Straight out, Auburn.
And I'm kind of manipulating the collective, bringing us up and down, just to make you work the pedals a little bit. Because when I increase power, we're going to need more left pedal. And when I lower it, we're going to need more right pedal. Let's go ahead and give it some more left pedal. There we go. Bringing that back in. Nice, good. That was really smooth. Nice, doing really good.
Auburn traffic, Cessna 7991 uniform, turning base for runway 16, Auburn.
Give us a little more left pedal.
But it really changes when you...
Yep, you see the difference? So, it helps to think about, you're going to want to eventually, at the start, you're kind of always want to think a certain amount of pedal is a certain amount of turn, right?
Yeah.
But you basically just want to make the aircraft do what you want it to do. So you can see we kind of are constantly to the right. So go ahead and just give it more left pedal. Bring it all the way back. So we're still to the right, bring it some more left pedal. Now we're straight.
Went
a little past?
We're straight.
We were for a second.
Okay.
And I'm kind of adjusting the speeds to make you work for it. Because that way, once we go back to smooth, then it'll seem really easy. right, I'm gonna pull us to a stop here. And go ahead and give me a left pedal turn 90 degrees.
Left pedal 90 degrees.
Nice, good, really good. And I'm gonna set us down while this plane lands. You're on the pedals and I'm on with you. Gonna let this guy land. And I'm gonna reach under you here real quick and get some cabin heat. It'll help clear out this so we can see better.
Yeah.
Might get a little bit hot for a second, but let me just...
Yeah, on the other hand, it's nice to be able to see through the canopy.
Exactly. Alright, that's good enough for now. Alright, so I want you to feel along with me on all the controls. So be nice and light on all the controls, but be on with me. I'm going to talk you through a pickup as I'm doing it.
Okay.
So here we are on the ground.
Yep.
So to do a pickup, I go touch a left pedal, which we're already at.
Yeah.
To anticipate the yaw, because I'm going to raise the collective. We need power. So I'm going to slowly start raising this collective.
You can feel it.
Waiting for us to feel light on the skids. Once we feel light on the skids like that, I'm going to start correcting for any movement. And it's really, really slow on the collective. You feel how slow I'm moving it?
Yeah.
Just barely. And it really will help you get smooth pickups.
You can see the manifold pressure just going up.
So you can see we got light on the skids there.
901 uniform entering the crosswind for runway 16, Auburn.
And we started turning to the left there. We were kind of doing one of these things. So I need a little right pedal.
Little right pedal.
Correct that. Continue raising the collective. Correct any movement. Right off the ground.
Now, if it's just collective, it's like going up the elevator.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Downwind for runway 16, Auburn.
I did not catch that guy's radio call. I think he was turning downwind. So I'm going to sidestep us this way. And Auburn traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-ray is going to be taking off 16 for right close traffic, Auburn. Alright, so we're clear. I'm going to pull us out here. And then same thing just like we did on that pickup. I want you to feel along with me on all the controls nice and light. And I'm going to talk you through a takeoff.
Okay.
So we got a little left crosswind, so it's going to be tough, but that's okay. So here we are in a hover.
Yeah.
To start my takeoff, I really, really just inch this collective or cyclic forward, just to start that forward movement. I'm not messing with the collective yet, just forward cyclic. Maintaining my heading with my pedals. When we start to balloon up right there, that's ETL. I want to push through that. I want to stay below 10 feet until we get to about 45, 50 knots. Once we hit here, I go gently aft on the cyclic to start the climb, and then I can pull in some power. And our takeoff speed we want is about 60 knots.
So you get up and you start going nose down, forward, pick up speed. Once you've got the speed, level out, up collective.
Yep, that's essentially it. All right, so you're back flying. And go ahead, you can take all the controls now. And have you read up on traffic patterns? Are you familiar with traffic patterns?
What now?
Traffic patterns. Basically how we're going to fly through.
Oh, okay.
So we basically just took off. Now we're going to do, let's get a little speed back here. Now we're going to be what we call crosswind. It's basically a rectangle is a traffic pattern.
Okay.
So we took off. We're going to go crosswind out here. Then we're going to turn 90 degrees to the right and we'll be on a downwind. And then we're going to turn 90 degrees to the right, and that's called base. And then we're going to turn 90 degrees back to the runway, and that's called final. So we'll go over that more later, but it's essentially how you practice approaches and takeoffs at airports. So here we are on our crosswind.
Yeah.
Pull a little carb heat. We're a little bit high, so let's go for 700 feet. And start turning us 90 degrees. Looking good, there's 700 feet, so bring that collective in to level us off here. Looking good. now basically we're in a downwind. We're paralleling the runway with the wind.
With the wind, okay.
We always want to take off and land into the wind. And let's go for 70 knots right now.
Auburn traffic, Cessna 7991, uniform on upwind for runway 16, Auburn.
Auburn traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, right downwind for 16. Alright, so here we are in our downwinds, where we'll do our checks for our approach. So we have no warning lights, RPMs are good, 3 gauges in the green, full carb heat, right trim is down.
Okay. Up, I got it. Back up to 800 and down to 60.
Yep, that's all right. So go ahead and make a 90 degrees right turn, and this will be our base. Remember, keep your eyes out on that horizon. We'll lower that collective to start coming down to our approach numbers. Auburn traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, turning base to final 16, Auburn. So now we're in our base.
Auburn traffic, Cessna 7991, uniform turning crosswind for runway 16, Auburn.
And I'm going to get us down here a little more aggressively. So there's the runway. So now we want to turn final. So go ahead and start turning us into a line with the center line.
Cessna 7991,
looking good.
For runway 16, Auburn.
Looking good. Make it a little harder bank, get in there. There's 60 knots, looking really good. That was a good turn. So 400 feet, let's level off here at the center line. 60 knots, looking good. So we're a little right of course. We're getting pushed by the wind. So we're gonna need to come back a little more aggressively here. So the wind's coming out of that way. So we're not gonna be aligned with the runway that well. But I'm gonna have you start your approach, and whenever you're ready, and I want you to go aft on the cyclic and lower the collective. And we're gonna have to give it some right pedal.
Cyclic, lower the collective.
And we're gonna need to go left a bunch here, just because we're really getting pushed by the wind. Can you see that?
And there's a plane taxiing down there.
That's okay. So let's go more left, more left, more left.
And pedals now?
Yep, we're just giving it a little bit of right pedal here. Ideally, we'd like to be aligned with the center line on our approach.
Okay.
So more right pedal, good. We pretty much have a direct left crosswind, which you can see is just pushing us. So then once we start getting into this last third of the approach here, we really want to pull that collective up and shallow this approach out. So we don't want to come up, we don't want to climb.
You just want to...
Yep, so let's go more left, stay over the center line as best we can. Good. As the ground comes in, keep raising that collective.
Whoa.
It's all right, we got it. So, a couple reasons that happens. Number one, we were pulling in a bunch of power, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we need some left pedal. But the second thing, which we're feeling right now, I'm letting you kind of feel it, that's exactly, I don't know, I bet you haven't. I'm going to sidestep us off. Auburn traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, clear the active. Sorry, I'm just getting us over here. That guy's going to come behind us. Okay, so have you read about LTE at all?
About what?
LTE.
LTE?
Yep. Loss of tail rotor effectiveness.
No. Oh, I've seen the term, but...
Okay. So basically...
Traffic 7991, uniform turning final for runway 16.
Basically, long story short, when we have a direct left crosswind, it's pushing the downwash from our tail rotor back into our tail rotor.
Oh, and so that pretty much negates it.
Yep, so our downwash, it's very like turbulent air. It's all tumbly and...
So is this like we're in ground effect?
Yep, we are in ground effect right now.
Okay.
Yep, so we're in ground effect right now. I'm just bringing us this way. I want to kind of just describe to you over here what you experienced on that approach at the end there. So right here, we kind of have a direct left crosswind. So we might get some LTE. And really all that is basically our tail rotor's not working all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So whenever that happens, the body wants to spin to the right. So we basically just have to give it a bunch of left pedal really quick. So anytime we have a left crosswind, we just need to be cautious of that.
So the tail rotor doesn't go away completely, but you just need to make a bigger input.
Exactly. Exactly. It basically, what's happening is it's not producing lift very well for a second. So it's producing, let's say, let's just give it a number. It's producing 5 lift, right? All of a sudden it gets a bunch of turbulent air in there. Now it's producing 1 lift.
Right here is your Mooney, sir.
And then it's back to 5. So that's basically what's happening.
It's chaotic.
It's chaotic.
Yeah.
It's very turbulent mixed air.
They are just absolutely sweet. Nice airplane, same colors they used to fly too. And they work okay.
So basically that's what you felt there, and that's what spun us to the right. It's a combination of that, and you pulled a bunch of collective there at the end, which also increases the left pedal. You see that?
So I had 2 things working against me all of a sudden, yeah.
Exactly. And that's nothing wrong. We just needed more left pedal.
Right.
So after this guy takes off, we'll take off. And I'm just going to kind of intro you into what is called a max performance takeoff while we're here, just because we're on this side of the runway. So, kind of like you saw, Auburn traffic, helicopter 2 Mike X-rays, taking off 16, right now in departure to the north, Auburn.
Auburn traffic, 7991 uniform, turning crossway for runway 16.
Okay,
Auburn.
So I'm going to climb us out, pull us out here. So follow along with me on the controls when I do this. So, normal takeoff profile, like you talked about before, we get a bunch of speed, right? Kind of take off like an airplane, sort of.
Yeah.
This is called a max performance takeoff. We do this a lot of times when we're like off airport in the trees, things like that. So basically I want to get really close to the ground to maximize that ground effect you were just talking about. And I'm going to pop this collective up to give us a bunch of power and basically take off vertical. So here I am close to the ground.
Auburn traffic, that's a 79.
Pop this collective up to my max performance. Gently forward, gaining airspeed, try to get us into the wind, and I can pretty much climb vertical. The more airspeed, the better, because we become more efficient, get better performance. But we're pretty much climbing vertical right now. And that's what we call a max performance takeoff.
Okay.
So those are kind of the 2 main ways we take off.
Now, is there something I read about? Is there, if you're going along at, I don't know, say 60 knots, and if you go below a certain speed, do you start to sink and you need to add more collective?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to give you the cyclic back. So you got the cyclic?
I got the cyclic.
So keep our speed up here. Let's go, try to keep us at about 80 knots. And let's just start a right-hand turn while we're at it. Good. And let's follow through here, this kind of corridor right here.
Auburn traffic, Cessna 7991 uniform, turning right base for runway 16, Auburn.
Nice rainbow.
Auburn traffic, helicopter 2 Mike X-rays, right now in 16, we'll be departing to the north, Auburn. Yeah, it is a nice rainbow.
Okay, so 70 knots.
Yep, so let's get 80 knots, and let's lift the collective up a little bit so we don't descend too much. Looking good. Looking good. How you feeling? You doing all right? Good.
A little, you know, not quite as relaxed as I should be.
Yeah, it's hard.
And I think I need also to get used to how far you can bank.
Yep.
Because when it starts leaning over, I start like, is this right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Fair enough. I mean, that all comes with time. But it really, we can bank these things pretty hard. Not that I want you to do that right now, but these things are pretty capable. Everything, especially at the start, we want you to do very, very gradual, smooth, and level.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's hard. If you're able to do that, then you're going to be able to make those steep, hard banks a lot better.
So there also has to be a way, or okay, keep your eyes on the horizon, but then I'm finding that I have to check the instruments fairly often.
Yep.
Because things drift out of where I want them to be.
Exactly. So let's turn to the right and go over to those railroad tracks, and let's follow those railroad tracks. So you're absolutely right. That's kind of what we call instrument scan. You basically, it's like short, it's kind of like when you drive. You're always kind of you want short glances at everything. So mainly we're flying off the horizon, but I'm glancing down to check my airspeed.
Yeah.
Glancing down to check my altimeter for my altitude. Checking my VSI to show we're descending.
Yeah, 85.
Yep, that's fine. Looking good. Do your best to try to keep it at 80 and follow these tracks.
Okay.
Just to try to lock in those numbers as best you can. It's really tough at the start, but just as often as you can, let's try to keep it at 80, and let's call it 80 and 800. So we're gonna have to bring that collective up a little bit.
799, 1 uniform clear, runway 16, over.
And it's a little windy out here today, and that's kind of working against you as well. Long Acres traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, 167 northbound at 700 Long Acres.
The throttle.
What was that?
Oh, when I lift up the collective, I can feel the throttle twisting.
Yep, that's the governor doing its job.
Okay, 880.
Yep, 880. Looks like it's a little rainy up there in Boeing.
Oh yeah, a little bit of sunshine down here.
Yep. Nice. Remember, really emphasize light grip, small little inputs, more just pressures. Long Acres traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, sawdust piles northbound, 700 Long Acres.
0. Two clouds 2,800, ceiling 6,000 broken, 7,500 broken, temperature 11, dew point 8, altimeter 2976. ILS, runway 13 right approach in use, landing and departing runway 13 right and runway 13 left. Simultaneous approaches in use to SeaTac and Boyne airports, expect traffic above you on final. Aircraft landing runway 13 left are reminded to fly the PAPIs. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact, you have information, Tango.
I'm straying off of the tracks here.
That's all right. Keep
Wing field information, Tango time 2153.
I think let's go more this way.
150
Okay.
at 9er. Visibility 10. Two clouds 2,000.
Long Acres traffic, helicopter 3 Mike X-rays, pad 1.5 northbound at 800. Last call.
Runway 13 left. Simultaneous approaches in use to SeaTac and Boyne airports. Expect traffic above you on final. Aircraft landing runway 13 left are reminded to fly the PAPIs. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Tango. Wing field information, Tango time 2153 Zulu, wind 150 at 9er.
Doing good. Keep heading us straight. Boeing Tower, helicopter 823 Mike X-rays, Long Acres, with Tango, Rainier arrival for HW ramp.
Helicopter 823 Mike X-ray, Boeing Tower, Rainier arrival approved.
Rainier arrival approved, 3 Mike X-ray. Okay, so you see these two apartment buildings up here?
Yeah.
679 Delta Sierra 13 left, ready for takeoff.
Right straight in front of us?
Yep, the leftmost group
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
Let's fly over the right half of those.
Okay.
Two and hold short, runway 13 left.
So pretty much straight now this way.
13 left, 679.
So right over the top of that flat spot in the quarry there.
Exactly. Looking good. This is our approach path for our Rainier arrival. So this is kind of the opposite of how we came out. And let's keep a little over 800, looking really good on our altitude through here. That way we're not buzzing people's houses.
And let's see, I'm looking at Mercer Island.
Yep, that's Mercer Island.
Okay.
So do you see this road right up here to the left that's curving?
Yep.
Let's head towards that and then follow that road. And we could probably bring our speed back to about 70 now. A little bit of rain. Let's follow this road as best we can. Looking good. Let's go a little more left.
So do you have the pedals or do I?
Well, we both do.
Okay.
I was letting you have them, but I helped just get us in trim a little bit.
Up there, 32 Tango West Pack, clear for takeoff, clear to left.
I have to learn to stop leaning my body.
2 Cessnas and a Diamond.
Do we want to come over?
All right, 1 second, let me make a call.
7530 Mike HNW for Pad 5 and a Seward departure with Tango.
And helicopter for Pad 5, what was the call sign again?
It's 7530 Mike.
I'm going to start bringing us down here.
Helicopter 7530 Mike Point Tower, Seward departure is approved, traffic just lifted off the short runway, Cessna left close.
Looking for the Cessna 30 Mike.
Diamond, 90 Delta Sierra, traffic on the upwind, Cessna also in left close, traffic runway 13 left, clear for takeoff, follow the Cessna.
Before takeoff, I follow the Cessna 13 left, 67 on the Sierra.
Cessna 78 Mike, runway 13 left, cleared for the option, traffic departing prior to your arrival at Diamond, also in left close.
1 2 left clear, option for Diamond.
Going down, I'll go to 3 Mike X-ray, South Boundary.
Hey,
Helicopter
in front
3
of
Mike
and above
X-ray,
us?
Pad 6, proceed as requested.
Yep, he's above us.
Helicopter 3 Mike X-ray, traffic just lifting off of the
all your aircraft?
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
southbound low-level helicopter will be a left turn out.
There's the 4-seater.
And 3 Mike X-ray's got all the traffic sight.
Helicopter 30 Mike, company traffic inbound low level.
2 Mike X-ray inside, and I got the Cessna 30 Mike.
Alright, sorry about that. I was trying to really listen to the tower. So I'm on all the controls coming in here. I'll talk you through what I'm doing though. So I got my 60 knots coming in for my approach. It's a south flow, as you can see by all the different aircraft taking off to the south.
140 at 14.
So that means I gotta land south. So I don't want to overfly any aircraft.
So you're, if the wind was going the other way, you'd be coming
I come straight in. Yep.
towards the north.
Yep.
It looks like you got another one.
Victor Juliet, number 2
running up over there.
Runway 13 left, clear for the option.
3 left, clear for the option. 78 Victor Juliet.
So now as the ground's coming in, I'm just bringing that collective in with some left pedal. Making sure he sees me.
Point Tower, helicopter 919 Delta Juliet, helicopters northwest ramp, Lake Stewart departure for Pad 5, we have Tango.
Helicopter 919 Delta Juliet, Boeing Tower, Pad 5, Seward departure is approved, traffic short final for 13 left, Cessna left closed, additional traffic just turning downwind, Diamond and left close.
9 Delta Juliet, we have the Diamond looking for the Cessna.
We're 140.
Alright, so start talking me through the shutdown.
Friction on.
I kind of trapped this guy. My bad, man. Alright, so what was the first thing, sorry?
Okay, collective down, friction on.
Yep, collective's down. Put my
Cyclic
friction
pedals neutral, friction on. Governor off.
Governor is off.
Idle at 70 to 80.
Yep, 75.
Throttle closed.
And
clutch switch disengaged.
Okay, so this is another one where this one's kind of off of what we normally do now.
Okay.
This one's just a little outdated. I don't know why it's still in here. I should grab the new one. So basically when we land, I rolled down to 75 and I put all my frictions on, right? So I want
that way the collective doesn't pop up.
Yeah, if somebody bumps it or whatever.
Yeah.
Something might happen. I mark my time, so we were on the 12. Basically we want to wait for a 1.5-minute cooldown.
Okay, this is the, like you want...
Yep, our cylinder head temps mainly.
Can you just watch the cylinder head temp?
You can. They say, one of our other checklists says 300 degrees.
Yeah.
But we don't have a 300 on here.
Got ya.
So I always used to say whenever I can fully see that D, so that when this arrow is completely past the D, that's about 300 to me, and that's good.
So what's bad for the engine if you don't do that?
So it's when it's going from a really hot temperature to a really cold fast. It warps it, it can change it. It's excessive wear.
Oh, okay.
That drastic temperature change causes excessive wear. So that's about 1:15. So once we get to the 6 here, then we can close the throttle.
Yep, throttle close.
And disengage the clutch.
Let's disengage.
Yep. So I'll let you kind of do that with me here.
Okay.
So here's 6. So put your hand on the throttle, and we're going to bring it towards you. Yep, so bring it towards you. Closed, good. All the way. And now disengage the clutch. This guy right here. There we go. Now we're waiting for 30 seconds. So we were on the 9. So once we get to the 3, then we can move on. And what do we do after 30 seconds?
Pull idle cutoff.
Yep, so we pull the mixture.
Okay, so do you have to take the cover off it?
Yep, so I put the cover on here.
So this, oh, it's just the sleeve. Okay.
Yep.
And what was the time that
it's
we're
on the
looking
3,
for?
so you're good now.
So all the way up?
Yep, pull it all the way out. You're going to have to push the button on top. There you go. So now we just pulled the fuel out. So now we go straight across. So we're turning magnetos off and leave the master on, turn the alternator off, and the nav lights off. So you won't really find this on any checklist, but my rule here is whenever we pull the mixture off, there should only be 2 things that are on. The master battery and the strobe.
Right.
Everything else should be off, and that's kind of just my check to make sure I didn't forget something. And it really helps. Many times I've caught something that I forget in the cooldown, even if I'm using a checklist, which we always should do. So that's just kind of my mental reminder.
Okay.
Pull the mixture.
So we're getting, as you might expect, oil pressure warning, alternator warning.
Right. Yep. Everything's off now. So this is just rotor momentum. The engine is not even turning. Nope, engine's off. When you pull that mixture, we cut the engine.
Okay.
So we were waiting for that clutch light to go out, which means now it's fully disengaged. So now we can use our rotor brake right here to help slow these blades down. So I'll let you do that. So put your left hand up there. And basically when we pull that down, they say arm weight. You can put a little more than that. And we want to do it in bursts. So you want to like brake, let off, brake, let off, kind of like that. And then you want to try to line it up as best you can. Nice, really good. And then,
well, not quite, but
close enough. That's closer than most people get on their first try. Then master battery off.
Master battery.
And I'll grab the wheels real quick.
Okay.
one thing like right now it's not that big of a deal because nobody's nearby. One thing with the door